Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's up, everybody?
We are back to do a retro review, The Amazing Race Season 1. We are on episode 7 or leg 7. Man, Bryce, so this one had a lot going on throughout the episode. There was a lot of different logistical choices, the groups going in 3 different places at once, all that kind of stuff. But we can't bury the lead. The Amazing Race claimed a relationship. Karen offed Lenny after a bad performance in the leg, but she was very critical of his effort and very critical of that. She basically says he would be a loser in real life. What was your reaction to that, man?
So this is like one of those moments in a reality show where I would love for a reunion, and you know that that's not going to happen. But I felt really bad. I don't like that's the kind of stuff I can deal with a lot of awkwardness.
Yeah,
Like, hearing someone tell like this guy's a loser, and it's like just because you lost a game show, like maybe he's not the most comfortable doing these things. Like I always have related more with Lenny than Karen personally, but
no, and I didn't get any negative vibes from Lenny. Listen, sometimes you would think like, is he? I mean, you don't need to be sprinting and jumping over railings and being frantic to be like you're trying your best. And to be fair, this is the first season of that
right,
show. There
exactly.
is no examples of anything to go off of. Really easy to say. And we're only seeing what they're editing too. So, I mean, for
That's
all we
true.
know, and maybe we get like, maybe he was a pain in the butt, or maybe it was more her. But again, it's just from what that was presented to us. She did seem like she was coming on kind of hard on him. But again, like, we don't know, right? Like, how good was the relationship really before?
Right, exactly.
Could they have been fighting the entire time in all this episode since it's like their elimination episode? That's where they decided to highlight the friction. I think that could be the case too.
See, wouldn't you think that this would have been like Frank and Margarita? Like the people who are trying to get back together, like testing it, you would have thought that they would have had the Lenny and Karen route. Like that to me, I was just like,
well, I mean, I'm glad that they're not. I mean, it seems like so far with them that they're doing well, and we don't know where things are going yet. We're going to watch a couple more episodes tonight, and that's our Amazing Race marathon night that we're way behind. And we appreciate everybody who's watching. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on in the channel. We hope you're watching everything else. I mean, Temptation Island's been great. We've had Survivor stuff going on, the challenge. There's just been a lot, but I think we're gonna get 3 in tonight. We're gonna watch 3, record 3 as we go, and so they'll be definitely blowing out through maybe like the weekend. We'll be able to like maybe knock a few out there for everybody. So like I said, Brian, I mean, overall, Lenny and Karen being eliminated this leg, it's not a surprise. I think they're one of the teams that we had kind of like in limbo. So I was surprised that they maybe went before some of the others, and we'll kind of highlight why during this, but we can rewind a little bit. There's still like the Guido fallout stuff. That's really where leg 7 picks up. And again, I posed this last episode and we had some comments on it. I'll pose it again and we'll get maybe some clarification in the future. Did they really push them? Did that? I didn't see it. I didn't see they're all really upset. They're basically saying they're going to curb stomp them. So what are your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see anything. This is going to be our future guest going to iron that out.
I didn't know like what happened.
Yeah, like was it just the heat of the moment where they're just like so annoyed at them? Like you could brush up against someone and still like I don't know. It's an international airport, and it's also 2000. It's rougher, I think, than it was.
I mean, the camera, obviously, too, without the being HD cameras and stuff, too. I really love it. I love the look of it. I love that it actually isn't, whatever. That's probably HD for the time, but now it's obviously would be like an SD camera. And I do like the graininess of it. I do like it's cool. I like that you can tell it's the cameraman just chasing after them and stuff. Now it's a lot more polished and stuff, and because they have 30 seasons worth of practice and other reality shows to riff off of. But so I am really enjoying this. It's like it does have much more of like a documentary feel. It feels like old Real World kind of filming and stuff like that.
Yeah, it reminds me of like I said this before, another one, Jersey Shore. They have that graininess like on purpose.
Do you want to comment on that really quick about how the Jersey Shore cast is really upset that are doing a new Jersey Shore and they think that it's not right of them to do that?
I didn't even know that, but what do they want them to do? MTV wants to make money. And
they put out a statement. The cast put out a statement, Brian. They put out a statement saying that like they put on the most vulnerable moments of their lives when there was a struggling network and blah blah blah, and that's like total BS because like things like the Hills and all like that was on before Jersey Shore, so MTV was doing just fine. So like they have a show still.
Yeah, it's just maybe because they know it's just not as good because they don't party. They're not that interesting. Those people are not. I know we're talking. This should be an Amazing Race, but they're not that interesting. They're breaking news to anyone that is
not even. And that's all you're sure. That's your Jersey Shore minute. You're getting really quickly here in the Amazing Race. But Brian, one of the actually things from this leg that I do want to talk about. We have just a few random things. The detour with the glider plane. Cool. Like the 76-year-old guy. First of all, how the hell do the planes drag the other plane? I don't even understand the physics at all. I still don't understand how planes fly. I'm going to be honest, people. I don't get it.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. I mean, the glider aspect of it is like really cool. I always just like, when I was watching, I was like, even though they know that they can land safely, that shit scares me.
That whole thing did kind of go against our premise of like, don't remember, they don't want you to die. Like they're not going. Right, exactly. There's nothing that like a CBS production team could do about if like that plane or that glider or anything happened to that man. They're done.
You're not like you're not like hooked to a line on a mountain where you fall, you just hang. Like if this thing crashes, you're dead.
Dead.
Hang gliding accident. He's dead.
No, I mean, and it's like it's the truth, and that's I mean, that's one of the things I think is really interesting about these like early seasons of these shows. Like there is a lot of, I don't even say refinement, but there is definitely like a little bit more of like an adventurer aspect to it. Like these people are definitely going and flying and going way crazier and doing way harder things. I mean, put out into the elements way more than people are now. I mean, obviously besides the COVID season, that's a way obvious one, but yeah, even though I would wager to think, I think we haven't seen the other seasons, but I would think that they're probably a lot more coordinated and sequestered and safer than like these people are just like we've seen them sleep in the street before.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be really interesting to see season 1 and 2, like how that's good, what the changes, and I honestly can't wait. Like I just love that we have the access to this show for many seasons in a row.
Yep.
It's going to just be a fun journey. I'm really excited for it.
It is always just nice that we're going to have that throughout the calendar year because of the amount of seasons. It's not something that's going to be kind of seasonal like our new shows. So that is great. A couple other things. They had I mean, so there was, like I said, there was a lot of the logistical stuff. They all have to go to Delhi, India. So they all have to, but unfortunately there's no international airport in town. So the Guidos and the lawyers go via Rome. The other guys got to go on the Milan train because you have to book flights by phone, which the whole phone booking things. Those travel agency offices are horrible. Like in every city, not just there.
Just a dead job in this age.
The Taj Kima Hotel is the next pit stop. It was again that was tough. I mean, they had to go over to the bazaar and the whole thing with like having to go find on the roadblock and having to find
Have I ever told you that India is like on my I don't want to visit list?
I didn't know you had it. I don't want to visit.
I just like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't think that I'm like too, like I care about cleanliness, but like, it's just not a spot I want. Like, just like with the pictures I see, it looks really nice in the areas, but like that bazaar scene where you're just running around and like they're driving and people are just walking across. I want to avoid it like the plague. It's just not on my list.
I definitely wouldn't be a fan of like that, like being on the rickshaw and having to be in the crowded marketplace like that. I mean, I deal with cities, obviously from a city, but like that's a whole different ballgame. Yeah. And you got to find the shopkeeper. That one was tough. And again, a lot of times, and I have the whole thing when I had said a few episodes back about cab drivers, it's just tough to be at the mercy of somebody else.
Yeah. Really people tough. That don't speak English and they're just scheming you, honestly.
Well, I mean, that happened with Lenny and Karen. I mean, that's with the cab driver. So their cab drive, they literally lost this leg and that's what I kind of think is also kind of a point we kind of skipped over when we were saying like she's being too hard on him. Like ultimately, they had a shot to not come in last. Their cab driver said they knew how to go there.
Yeah, that
drove him somewhere else completely, and then was like, "Oh, what do you want me to do?" That's
right. And there's a language barrier. It's like, and like, do those people even care? Like anyway,
spoiler alert, no.
No.
Dude, what do you mean? They're probably, I mean, you see them, they half the time too. It's like the cameras and all. Again, it is something that at the time, it was the only time you probably were having cameras running around like that, like with a bunch of crews, was for like news stuff or for like movies and stuff. But like a reality TV film crew and contestants and mini games going on in like cities, like that was something that was so. I mean, there was barely anything ever before. I guess there was probably a season of like Survivor before, and then you had maybe some. Did the challenge precede this? Were there challenge seasons in the 90s?
I don't know. I'm gonna say no.
Maybe things like that. So again, just those.
You wouldn't have been in a city.
Yeah, well, no, definitely not. So overall, like I said, there was a lot of good stuff. This was the episode too where, again, there was a lot of getting upset at the drivers. Emily like smacked the driver.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
not smacked, but it was like ooh.
I also think that a lot of these countries in that time period, they don't really like the women. It's not equal there either. Like I don't think they always listen to like what they're saying.
No, well, definitely in certain regions, they're definitely probably going to be like ignored more than others, and that's something that, again, because of the timing too, we're going to get a lot more of like a raw probably insight to that. It's not going to be filtered out, not going to be edited out, so there's nothing controversial. There's no social media, so no one cares.
Yeah, right.
I like this leg. A lot was going on. I feel for Lenny and Karen, feel for their relationship, but I guess it wasn't meant to be.
I have the list.
What?
I have the list if you want me to read it.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously that's what we always lead off. Yeah. I mean, end off with, and then I'll give us a sign off.
Yeah. So fast forward was Frank and Margarita.
Yep.
Second, Team Guido. Third, Rob and Brennan. Fourth, Kevin and Drew. Fifth, Nancy and Emily. And as we said before, eliminated Lenny and Karen.
So we appreciate everyone watching this. This is our only retro series that we are doing right now. We have done The Bachelor before. Then we do cover the current seasons so far. And right now of Temptation Island, The Challenge All-Stars 3. We are finishing up with The Circle this week. It'll have its final week on Netflix. The Courtship, and basically anything else new that's coming out. They did just drop a trailer, Brian, for the CBS challenge. It's going to have some of the CBS reality show people this summer. So that'll be definitely something that we cover as well. Stay tuned. Like I said, this weekend, as you are seeing these videos, we're going to probably drop the next 2 episodes as well, just to get us closer up to the finale. And so we can kind of try to do our retrospective Where Are They Now episode, which is really kind of been a big goal of ours since we started doing this season, and then hope to kind of continue that trend going forward to the future. Also look out for the channel this week. We have a special interview that'll be really cool for the Reality Guys, a nice Memorial Day weekend special for everyone. But for myself, Brian, the Reality Guys team, thank you. Peace.